Hello, welcome to Wake the F Up Wednesday. We are in Scorpio season, which is all about embracing our shadow, not being afraid to look at the hidden parts of ourselves that we don't like to be seen, and allowing ourselves to embrace change, to alchemize whatever shadows we have into pure magic. And that's what we are doing today. Thank you for joining me. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported and shared reflections and love on my last Wake Up Wednesday, sharing a very vulnerable story of my 4-day Africa initiation. And yeah, I'm just feeling so much love and support from all of you, because it really takes a lot of courage to be able to speak out on some of the things that have occurred. And I just feel like our wounds become our greatest gifts and what we're here to share with the world, and that these deep initiations and experiences really shape who we are. And I feel like that experience really changed me forever and allowed me to really step into my discernment and my boundaries and my self-worth and value. So thank you for everyone that has supported with that share, and just excited to dive into this Scorpio season. So we are moving from the element of air in Libra season to the element of water. And not only the element of water, but the depths of the depths, like the deepest, darkest parts of our psyche, and into the ocean and our emotions and our mind, and allowing ourselves to really take a look at these parts of ourselves that we don't want other people to see, because really these parts of ourselves just need that awareness and that love and acceptance of exactly where they are and where you are, and just bringing in that beautiful Kuan Yin energy of we are all pure love embodied, and to just love and accept these parts of ourselves that we may look at as ugly and shameful, and bringing up taboo topics like death and sex and money. And I've been feeling all of these things even right before we got into Scorpio season, and I've just been thinking a lot about death and what happens, and just the sadness around people that I have lost, and just seeing more people at really young ages passing away and not fully understanding and grasping it, but just taking time to really reflect on, you know, death, and that we're always dying, we're always shedding old parts of ourselves. It's like before a woman bleeds, which is, I'm in that phase of the wild woman phase, it's like we're preparing to shed, to release old parts of ourselves, and to allow ourselves the space and time to let that shit go, to let go of the ego. And yeah, I've definitely have been feeling old past things coming up to the surface, which is normal during these times of the year, where I need to really forgive myself for choices that I have made in the past that were not of my highest and best good, relationships, different things that were toxic that I said yes to when I really meant no, and the consequences that I have had to feel from all of that, and to ultimately just come back to forgiveness, and that we're on this earthly plane to learn and grow, and just accepting that life is not supposed to be this linear path. It's more circular, spiral like, and we're constantly pulling different layers of who we were and who we want to be, and to just trust our own individual unique process. And yeah, like around the sex piece, so talked a little bit about death, and then the other taboo with Scorpio is like the sex piece, when I actually said yes when I really meant no, and really having to clear out my womb space of old toxic energies, and also just feeling immensely gratitude to be with a partner who deeply loves and supports me and isn't just using me for one thing. And yeah, it's just such a huge transformation, and it's so much of what this season is about. It's about transformation, it is about change, and it's about honoring our path and accepting where we were and how much we have grown to where we are now. And again, to trust our own process. And yeah, the money piece. So that's another big one with the Scorpio season, to talk about the money stuff. And I feel like I live a very abundant life. Like, my view right now is absolutely incredible of the lake in my home, in my palapa garden area that I manifested with my partner. And yeah, I definitely feel very abundant and I live an abundant life. And my partner, he is amazing at being in gratitude all the time, and he even works and coaches with people and does hypnosis journeys with people to help them release their money blocks. And I feel like that's part of why we were attracted to each other, because we attract people in our lives that are going to bring up our unresolved issues and things and help us to grow. And we're both doing that for each other. And he's helping me to see these parts of ourselves where I sometimes am in worry and fear and stress and anxiety, and teaching me that I don't have to continue to live in this way of feeling rushed or forced or time's running out. And, you know, I'm helping him in these other ways of helping him to reignite his passion and to step out into the world and do what he's meant to do, and not just fall back and just let things happen, but to actually take initiative. So it's a really beautiful weaving, and what we are meant to do in relationships like this is we're helping to mirror each other's stuff so that we become better human beings on the planet. And I'm grateful that he has mirrored to me, you know, some of these blocks that I have. And I feel like it's a really beautiful time for us to look at these shadow parts of ourselves, the hidden parts of ourselves that don't want to be looked at, or, you know, these intuitive hits that we may have, and we don't really look at them. We just push them down, and we don't talk about these things that aren't normally talked about. Well, this is the season to have those uncomfortable conversations, starting with yourself, and then maybe starting next with your partner or with your close friends. And, you know, and if you have a sister or brother, whoever you connect with. And yeah, and I'm not talking about, you know, having support from someone where you're just gossiping. I'm talking about someone that's actually sitting there and holding space for you without judgment, and reflecting back what they're hearing from you, and not trying to give you advice or try to tell you what to do, but to allow you to come up with your own innate guidance, to remember that there's this inner guru living within you, and to awaken that part of yourself. And that's what's so beautiful about working with a coach or a mentor or being in a sacred sisterhood container. And so I invite you to open up to that, because it's really powerful. If I hadn't been in the Temple Body Art Sisterhood for the last 2.5 years and working with a mentor one-on-one, I wouldn't have been able to see these different shadow parts of myself that were ready to be revealed and seen. And so just taking that time to open that up for you if you are seeking that into your life. And really, it is about this time of big transformation and not being afraid to embrace change and look at those shameful, ugly parts of yourselves. And again, coming back to that full love and acceptance of exactly where you are, and coming back into your empowerment and turning and alchemizing, transmuting those shadows into pure gold and your purpose and what you're here to share and express, tapping into your creativity, your artistic expression, whatever that is for you. It's like we're all our own individual unique expressions of the divine, and we get to really step into that in whatever way that looks like for you. And magnetism is a huge one for this Scorpio season. I don't know if you know any Scorpios. I have 3 or 4 of my planets in Scorpio, so I feel very connected to this sign and not afraid to go into the depths of the depths and transmute that shit. And magnetism is such a big part of it, is just like feeling radiant, magnetizing your highest desires, not running out and forcing it and chasing it, but allowing it to happen. And so when we are looking at these subconscious, unconscious parts of ourselves that we are too maybe scared to look at, and we do the work through so many different modalities, then we're able to release the parts of ourselves, to accept the parts of ourselves, and come into that magnetic energy. And really trusting our intuition. And intuition doesn't have to look like this sign that comes up when we're meditating and it says it right in front of us. It can show up in so many different ways. It can show up by a friend calling you and she talks about something and you totally get a little sparkle or flutter in your heart, or you're very tired and you don't have the energy to go and do something that you said you wanted to do because maybe there's some resistance around it, and maybe there's something to look at rather than pushing it away and not listening to it, like continuing to stay in a job that is completely depleting your energy. It's like really taking the time to listen. So this is a really deep season, and when we do pay attention, we begin to have the clarity on our future and our visions how we want to move forward. And so there's a few things that I learned from an astrologer, Forever Conscious, that I love to share with you about how to really embrace this Scorpio season. And the first one is really connecting in with your passions. And I'm super excited that I'm going to be performing for the first time since Sovereign Festival, I was one of the co-creators. And yeah, I haven't performed since then. And I actually haven't performed an aerial piece since June. So it's been a little while. So I'm stepping back into my passion of aerials and dance and performance art, and putting myself out there, even though I've been feeling a little bit of the signs of aging, and just I hang out with a lot of women that are like 10 years younger than me, and I know that I'm like fresh and exciting and vibrant energy, but you know, I'm having things come up around, I'm fucking 40 now and I'm not as super young as I used to be, and I'm having some insecurities come up. And yeah, so this is a big opportunity for me to say, fuck all that shit, like step it back into my confidence and my power, and the intention of why I even perform. And the intention is to inspire others, to spark something within them to go out and live their passions and their purpose. So excited to get back on stage, and really the next one is owning your power. So when I'm on that stage, I'm fully stepping up into the essence of who I fully am. And yes, I'm not perfect, and that's okay. Here I am, and I have something to share with you. My presence is enough. My presence is a gift, and my presence is my purpose. And I don't care if there's little slip ups. That's not what it matters. It matters that I'm showing up and I'm willing to be seen in my light and my darkness in order to inspire others and empower others. And the next one is awakening your life force energy. So I have the intention of every day to dancing, because I like to move from my root to my sacral and really awaken that Kundalini life force energy and move throughout the day from there. It just feels so much better to be in that vibrant, radiant energy. And to connect with your inner magic. Like, we all are magical beings, but sometimes we forget. We live in a society that distracts us, that pushes us down. And I live in a place filled with so many magical people that didn't forget that they have magic that lives within. So I hope that you engage in practices and you surround yourself with people that help you to connect to the magic that lives within you. And allow your feelings to rise. This is a time to allow anything to rise up to the surface, to be seen, to be cleared. I've been having so many moments where my partner is holding space for me to share really deep things that make me feel super self-conscious about myself. And it's just so freaking reassuring and relieving to have someone to just hold you and tell you how beautiful and how much they love you when you're not feeling the best about yourself. So have give yourself the opportunity to allow your feelings to be heard and seen by someone that actually gives a fuck and that can actually hold sacred space for you. And also journaling is a really, really powerful tool for that as well. And dancing and releasing an embodiment. And to let go of what is not for you. Like I'd had to let go of different relationships in my life that actually weren't serving me, were actually depleting on my energy, and even thought patterns and beliefs. And like I said, sometimes that scarcity mindset, I'm really working on when I have a scarcity feeling to shut that shit out, come back into gratitude, and completely shift. And then the last one is embracing change. Change is inevitable, so we might as well embrace it and allow it to come through and to trust the process. And yes, thank you all so much. I I just feel like this is such a deep, deep portal that we're about to go in, and you never know what you're going to uncover about yourself on the other side. So if you are looking for a mentor, a coach that not only helps you to see your blocks and uncover them and to be that guide for you, but also guides you in practices and embodiment rituals, because we're not just our head. We don't need just therapy. We need to transfer that energy down into the body to feel the innate wisdom, the guidance that lives within you. So I love leading embodiment practices to help you awaken the codes that live within. And also, many of you already know that I have a women's embodiment retreat coming up in 2025. And thank you all for the ones that have filled out the questionnaire form. It is looking like it's going to be during the new moon energy, which is such a potent time to come together in sisterhood, in April. And yes, so if you are excited for a 7-day transformational experience in sisterhood to activate your passions, to reclaim your power, and to ignite your purpose in seriously one of the most inspirational and powerful vortexes in the world. They say that this lake is connected to the sacral chakra, which is our feminine energy, our creativity, sensuality, movement, play. So if you are ready to awaken those parts of you, I still have that questionnaire form up and would love to see your responses and what you're most interested in. And I just checked out the most beautiful retreat center yesterday with my partner. We had so much fun. We took a boat from our place and it is perfect. I listened to the sound system, made sure that my mic could be set up, and just all the spaces are made for sacredness, for transformation, for beauty, and I am just so excited for this. So please reach out to me and I'll send you the questionnaire, and I'll even send you a fire element embodiment practice to help you on your journey. So sending you lots of love, and I will see you next week, and have an amazing Scorpio season.